Okay, so before we start the session, we'll give you some updates about something very cool that is happening right now. Zoho are going to release in the next few months a new plugin or a new module named Messages. The Messages module is going to kill most of the SMS and WhatsApp applications out there, those plugins. So as you can see on my screen, and you can see that the screenshots of this module that's going to take place, they're going to phase it slowly, the same way that they did with the Canvas view and the other modules. They're going to phase it in slowly, and at some point you will also have it in your system. You will have a new Messages module. This Messages module will be also including WhatsApp, so WhatsApp and SMS. Just so you know, having a WhatsApp number, it's not fun. In order to have a WhatsApp number, you need to request it from Facebook, and it's a long process. I also created a YouTube video that will be released today, I think, today or tomorrow, about the process of receiving a WhatsApp number. So if you're interested, you can follow this video. You can see the Messages module. It includes basically any type of message that you're going to have. Some messages can be SMS, WhatsApp. Also, the emails are going to be pushed into the Messages, cases, and there is one more, but anyway, the Messages will be the place that will include all your communication with the client. You can see here the way that it works. Perfect. So I think it's going to kill most of the extensions out there that's doing SMS and WhatsApp. It's a huge change. So this is how it's going to work. Okay. So this is the Messages. Awesome. Very, very cool. And that was my news for today. Let's start with questions.
Hey, good morning. How you doing?
Good morning. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great, man. I have just started using Zoho campaigns. I was using a different program called Connect My Leads to basically do like advanced campaigns. And I'm using the word campaign loosely because I think that Zoho defines campaign as a specific email or a specific SMS message, so on and so on. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, so you have campaign, as you said, can be used in many different ways. You have also campaigns in Zoho CRM and also in Zoho campaigns and also in marketing automation. And it's being used everywhere, but depending on what you're trying to do with the campaign.
Well, I have tons of questions, but I have two ones, and one of them is just a yes/no question, maybe. Is there a way to use Zoho CRM to trigger a workflow
in campaigns
directly, or is that something I've got to go through Flow or some sort of update field through CRM to be able to make that work?
There is in Zoho campaigns, you see you have here the sync services. Yeah, this one, the sync services.
Mm-hmm.
Once you set up a sync between Zoho CRM and Zoho campaigns, okay, so let's call it leads sync. And let's create some kind of a leads list. So this sync is supposed to bring information from Zoho CRM. It will bring all the leads and it will push them into Zoho campaigns. Next, you need to select the fields. So by default, only the email and last name are coming, but you can have more fields. Now, this is where the interesting part will kick in. So let's say that you have also a field name lead status, And when the status is changing to contacted, this is when you want to initiate the campaign in Zoho campaigns, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 1 second, my system going crazy. So if you will have here, for example, the status, I think there is already a status here. 1 second. No, it's state. Okay, so when you have the status here, whenever the CRM will change, the CRM lead will change to contacted, then it will automatically will be pushed into Zoho campaigns, which means in your list, when you will have here a contact, let's create one contact manually so I can show you how it works. Okay, and the additional information, one of them will be the status. Where is the custom? Yeah. Okay, so whenever in CRM the information will change, it will also change here in this system. Okay, in Zoho campaigns. Until here we're good. It's step number 1.
Yeah, and is that dynamic? Is that all the time, or is that a once a day sync?
The immediate sync works immediately.
Okay,
okay,
that's fantastic.
So you have
that's
immediate
great.
and periodic.
Okay.
Okay, so this is step number 1. This is how the information is synced. Step number 2 is to create a workflow. And the workflow that you're going to create okay, and the next one, it will be on list entry. And then you select here some kind of a criteria. Okay, and the criteria will be when the status is contacted. I think it's this condition. Let's see. Make sense?
Yes, very much so.
Okay, that's it. And now you have next is sending the emails, blah, blah, blah.
Okay. Here's another question.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any, since I'm going to be using primarily campaigns and the sign up forms in there, and I'm going to be using Zoho Survey, and then of course I'm using CRM to manage all the contacts and stuff. Is there a good reason not to put my gazillion new landing pages in Zoho Sites as opposed to doing it in my current web host?
Yeah, don't put it on Zoho Sites.
Yeah, right. All right.
No, you don't want to do it.
Just find a different way. Just find a different way, but not Zoho Sites.
No, you don't want Zoho Sites. WordPress will be the best. If you don't have WordPress, Instapage, and all those landing pages solutions, and from there you can push to the CRM using or webhook or using a form. The upside of using a webhook is that you can have your form being designed in any way that you like. So it's feels like part of your website. Mm-hmm. Make sense?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I'm just adding code into my plan is just to use the sign up forms that are inside of Campaign, and then I'm just embedding them in my landing pages to trigger that stuff easily.
Sure, that's also doable. No problem at all. So you can do it from the sign up forms from here.
Can I ask another question? Are you?
Yeah, let's have one more and we'll continue with other people. And then if we won't have more questions, you can jump back and ask more. Is that okay?
I'll go ahead and wait. I need to regroup a little bit after you just told me those two things.
No problem. Thank you very much.
Okay, hi.
How are you?
Nice to
How
meet
are you, sir? Same here.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I've been watching you on YouTube, so it feels really interesting talking to you live.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
I actually have a question on how to automate processes delivery.
In which in
To try
CRM?
and like I'm on the Zoho one, and I've been using Zoho Projects to manage my projects.
Okay.
But I would like to have like an automation where the client does this step and then it goes to the next step and then goes to the next step. So I don't have to manually tell them what to do.
Okay. And
So
when you say the client takes steps, is he taking those steps in Zoho Projects?
yeah, for now I invite them to Zoho Projects so I deliver videos. So I have one folder which says here's the script, and then another folder is graphics, and then animations in the final. But it would be really nice if I would have a process where the client can only go with the script, and then when they have filled the form, click yes, go to the next step, which is the graphics, like to guide them exactly where we are in the process of the delivery.
So every time that you have a task that is being closed, you want some kind of an email to be sent to them, right?
Yeah, exactly. Either email or if on the website they would automatically go to the next page or something. Yeah, email would be okay, but if it's possible to even guide them on the website somewhere would be
How can you guide
really
them
cool
on the
as well.
website?
So for instance,
They need the link, no, to go to the website.
Yeah, well, so once they have like answered the questionnaire, if I for instance incorporate a form on the website where it's like fill the form here, and then they fill the form, click yes, then they go to the next folder or page where they can upload the graphics, so I can get started on the graphics in the video. Yeah, and then once that's done and I deliver it, they go to the next step. Like if it's possible to like manage that delivery a bit more than like I'm doing now, putting everything in one project, and then I have to tell them where to go.
Yeah, but I just don't understand the logic so much. So let's say that I'm your client. I went to your website, I uploaded the pictures, whatever you need for the video. You finish the task. How do I know to go to a different page if it's not using an email?
Yeah, good point. Either a portal or an email. Like, yeah, I'm not sure exactly how to do it.
Even if it's a portal, how do they know to go to the portal? They need to get some kind of indication. Hey, Lior, I just finished step 1 of the project. Please click here and give me more information, right?
Yeah, something like that. Yep.
So that's possible. Let's see if you can do it with the projects directly. So project is not my main expertise, but let's try to play with it and see. Come on, Zoho, let me go. Oh. Okay, so let's see. I know that there are some blueprints that we can try. Okay. That's fine. Okay, so let's say that it starts here, and when this is closed or completed, yeah. So this is here, and transition name, and after send an email, yeah. So this is how it works. The question is, for every task, you will have a different type of email, right?
Yeah, so it basically is 3 stages. Number 1, script writing. Number 2, graphics. Number 3, animations.
Okay. So let's call this guy okay, animation completed.
Yeah.
And here, let's see if I can have the subject or title or task name. Okay, let me just throw some things here. That's already used. Okay, let's try a different route. We can do it with a blueprint, but we won't be able to finish it in this session if I need to explain all that. Let's see if Zoho Flow will give us an easier solution.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say animation completed. That will be the task. Come on, Zoho, wake up. So Zoho Projects, and that will be task completed. If it will work, I can show you. Wow. Okay, so let me give me like 2 minutes. Okay, so now I created here in Zoho Flow one rule that when a task is completed, then it will do something. Next, I'm applying a logic, because in Zoho projects, whenever the task, 1 second, let me go back. So we have here a project. The project has different tasks. So let's say that this task, the task name is animation completed. Okay?
Yeah.
Good. So when this task is going to stage closed, it means that you did it, right?
Yeah.
Then you want
it's
something
a good
to
start.
happen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm creating here a rule, and the rule is that whenever this task is completed, then it will do something else. And the something else will be to send an email. Which email service do you use? Gmail, Outlook, Zoho, which one?
Zoho.
Zoho. So you see, you have here in Zoho Mail, you have a few options. One of them is send email.
Yeah.
Okay, and let's call it Zoho Mail. And then you have the from address to, and also what you want to say here. Please go to page ABC to complete, whatever.
Yeah.
You with me?
Yeah. Yeah. This is interesting. Definitely needs some sorting out, but basically building it on the tasks and then having emails sent out on completion.
Yes. So you are having step number 1 is when a task is completed. Step number 2, you will need to have a logic, and the logic will be the logic will be about the task name. So that will be a decision, and the decision will be when the task name equals to automation completed. This is how you know to have the email for automation completed.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Yeah, definitely. This is a new idea that I haven't thought about. So yeah, thanks for that.
So that should be working good, and you will need to have one flow for animation, one flow for whatever steps of the way. Each step will have its own step, its own flow.
Could I do that? One of the problems I'm having is that it's kind of difficult for the customers to log into the projects. It's not intuitive, so a lot of customers don't even log in. So I'm thinking if I could do this. How do you want me to
help you with that?
I'm thinking if I could do this with like Zoho Work Drive, it seems to be a bit easier for people to use.
Yeah, sure. You can use whatever tools from Zoho. No problem.
Yeah, connecting it with yeah, interesting. Thanks. I'll look into this. This should definitely work, but I might be able to do something even nicer with Work Drive. I'll check into that as well. Very cool. Thanks.
Awesome. Have a good one.
I will activate it. Good morning, Leo.
How are you, sir?
I'm very well once again. I see that you seem to be in good shape.
Always.
I'm glad to hear it. I'm just in the middle of trying to set up a like an auto response. Basically, I have people. I'm using what do you call it? Bookings, as I mentioned to you in last week or the week before, or I guess it would have been 2 weeks ago, where I have people who are booking sessions with me. They're using Bookings to do that.
That's right.
And what I would like to do is that when someone books a session with me for the first time, then what I would like to do is to be able to have an email automatically go out a week later and saying, would you like to do a follow-up? And I've got a link for that. So it seems to me a fairly, straightforward kind of activity. When and so I'm using I'm doing a meetings workflow, using the meetings module.
Mm-hmm.
And the first thing I'm just sort of wondering is it's asking me, when do I want to do it? So I'm saying, I want to do it. So I've chosen on a date time.
Mm-hmm, that's right.
And it's basically it's giving me based on which date time field should this execute. And the closest thing I can find that would fit is check-in time, but I'm not entirely clear with check-in time, but I know it's not when it's created, because someone could create a meeting a month before, and I don't want them getting this email.
Do you see my screen, Robert?
Sorry?
Do you see my screen?
I do see your screen, yes.
Yeah, so this is the one. You have, from it's when the meeting starts, to it's when the meeting ends. So 7 days after the meeting ends, you're good to go.
That's too simple for words.
Yeah.
I think that's sort of it, because I had, let me just double check that I don't have anything else. I don't think so. So basically, okay, so 2, and then, oh yes, then the other thing too is that this is not something I want to go out every time somebody books a meeting with me. It's just the first time that they book a meeting with me. I want them to receive this. So
and every time they're using Zoho Bookings to book the meeting, also in the follow-up meetings?
Yes, yeah. So I don't really have a way to distinguish, just be, yeah, I'm kind of scratching my head about that one.
Trying to think how to do it with no scripts. With script, no problem. But without
going into flow and setting up something or whatever.
You can create in flow. Yeah, you can. So you can do something like that. So you will have when a meeting is created. So let's say send an email only to new meetings or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, and it starts with the Zoho CRM.
Yeah.
And then you have here, the trigger will be when there is a new module entry.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the one.
Uh-huh.
And the middle module will be meetings.
Yeah.
Then you will need to fetch from Zoho CRM, you will need to fetch the related contact.
Mm-hmm.
And the contact will come from here. So the contact ID will be the contact.
Yeah.
So this is the ID. And the next step, you will need to fetch the meetings. We can do it maybe like that. Fetch all the meetings based on that. Yeah, we don't need that. We can just fetch meetings. So let's see if we can have. But if I will try to fetch it, will give me to. I don't see an easy way to do it.
Yeah. The only thing I can think of that I would be able to tell whether it's like my best. I mean, using email seems to be the easiest way to be able to tell whether like, as the reference point rather than the ID, just because I'm suspecting like every time. Yeah.
Okay. With the script, we can say, for example, how many meetings, and if it's more than one, then don't send the email. That's it.
Okay.
But I don't have an easy way to do it with no scripting.
Okay. And so the scripting, where would I be doing that?
That will be in the CRM side. So there will be a workflow in CRM, and the workflow will be whenever a new meeting is created.
Yeah.
Okay. And then it will run basically a custom function.
Right. Okay.
The custom function will do the magic.
Got it. Okay. So then at that point, I talk to my coding person and get them to.
That's right.
Get it going for me.
That's right.
And then everything's fine. Good. That's great.
Awesome. Have a good one.
Thank you so very much. Take care, Leo.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I've actually got a different question.
Okay.
That relates to what you put on the out there at the beginning. I'm about to meet with not Jeremy, but Francisco from Smooth Messenger. I can't think of what the name of their company is.
Yeah, they changed it to Smooth Messenger. Yes.
Yeah. So I'm gonna talk to them about how to use some of the additional functions that they have. But what you just told me just a minute ago sounds like that may be not the direction to go, or that it may be better just to hold tight and wait for that Messenger update to happen, or is it going to be a typical Zoho release that may take a while to get all the bugs out?
Yeah, and anything with any company takes time until it's stable and works good. I would go and maybe instead of signing a yearly agreement, I would do month to month, and whenever Zoho, get it done right, then you just switch. With Jeremy, the Smooth SMS, there won't be a problem to migrate from him to the Zoho module, because both of them are using Twilio, and Jeremy is not holding you hostage and keeping your number. It's your number. Right. There are most of the other companies, they're owning the number. So they will have a hard time to move from whatever solution to Zoho.
I do have one more question, if you'll allow me time.
Yeah.
And this is Wade, right? This is not Kenneth. I don't know how that got on the screen.
Oh, Wade. I said this is Wade, but I'm not going to say anything.
I knew sexy voice, right?
Yes, sexy voice. That's right.
Hey, I try to get support to answer this question for me, but it's not. I've asked him 3 or 4 different ways. I'm trying to send a webhook through the workflows in campaigns, but of course there's no direct way to do that. There's no action that's an actual webhook that's in there. Is it smarter for me to try to do something through Flow, or is it smarter for me to go ahead and do like some sort of update field thing and then have the CRM do some sort of action?
Let's check. Maybe there is something here that we can use. Sending an email, send SMS, A/B testing, send email, survey, list tags, subtract score. Okay, so we have some things here. So we can push data to the CRM. Of course, we need to have some trigger. Good. So we can push data to the CRM, and the data that you are going to push to the CRM will be this thing that triggers the webhook in the CRM.
Okay, so just basically an update field in the CRM, and then create an action in the CRM to initiate the webhook.
Yeah, that can work.
Okay.
One more thing that can be done, it's sending an email from campaigns to Zapier, and Zapier will trigger the webhook for you based on the email. So those 2 options probably can work.
So I can send an email to Zapier to make that work?
Yeah, so you create in Zapier, you create a parser, an email. Okay. Do you know how to do all that?
Of course not. That's why I'm meeting with your, is it Carol? What's that gal's name that works?
So leave Zapier. Stay with pushing data, and the pushing data will just change the trigger, and the trigger will send the webhook from the CRM. That will be probably the best way.
Okay. Well, I'm probably going to have Luis or what's the other guy's name? Eric work on it after I talked to is it Carol this morning?
So you meet Carol today?
Yeah, that's the only way to get in contact with you anymore is to do the 15-minute free sales consultation or the weekly consultation.
Why you can't meet with me?
I'd love to. Yeah, you're the man.
But why can't you meet with me?
Well, I don't know. There's no way for me to access your calendar anymore.
Oh, but you can call us, send email. Hey, it's Wade. I like to meet him. That's it. Simple.
I'm very okay. Well,
you're shy.
I'm very shy. Extremely shy.
I'm always here, my friend. Whatever you need.
Okay. Well, that sounds great. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Good to see you.
Good morning, Lior.
How are you, sir?
I'm okay. It was just actually an idea on the previous guy's question about the meetings. I just thought if an email went out to the client saying thank you for having our first meeting or whatever, that would set up you could set it up as a condition to trigger in the contact, and then to have either a check mark or a drop down menu item. So it would say meeting 1 took place, and then you could set up the workflow.
Very nice.
So the rest of it could go. I don't know if that.
Awesome. Yeah. That will be awesome. So
that was the answer to that. Then you know what? I don't know if there's anybody else. You can show it. You know, we can go through it.
Yeah, I will just show what you just said because it's brilliant. So let's say that you have a contact, and you will have here some kind of a drop down. So it will be drop down said sent first email, and that will say yes and no, and by default it will be no. So that's step number 1. Step number 2, when there is a new meeting, this field will be changed to yes, and then in the workflow that you are going to send the emails, it will send only if this field is not yes. So if it is yes, it will not send, but if it's not yes, it will send the first one. And that's it. Great. Thank you, Basil, for this great workflow.
You're welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Happy to help sometimes.
You help all the time, my friend. You're awesome.
Now, you know what? Since I'm with you, I've been thinking about the workflow, or rather the blueprint. And when we were talking about setting up a blueprint, and we had a condition on there to fill out the form, to fill in information for that condition to be filled in order for the blueprint to move on to the next section. I like using forms a whole lot. And I think that forms has a lot more flexibility, and you can feed it with different modules and all that kind of stuff. Any ideas why that might be a bad idea?
It's an awesome idea. Forms are great.
Okay.
It's awesome, but I don't know if you can, based on the form, move a blueprint state. I think the only way to move it is using clicks.
Because I was thinking on the form itself, I have a default a drop down again, or a check mark or something like that, which is defaulted to whatever condition I want it to be. And then when the form gets received, then that checks off the condition in the contact or the lead or the deal, whatever it is. And then that would actually click it forward to the next step. I haven't quite tried it. It's still in my planning stages in my head, but that's what I was thinking about doing.
Check it out, but the forums are awesome. They're very good.
All right, my good friend.
Good
Thank
to
you
talk
very
to you
much.
as always.
Good day.
Good day. We still have another 20 minutes or so, and I don't have any more questions. We'll leave it this session open for a little bit. And if someone has something that they want to ask, I'm here for you. And meanwhile, we'll just try to show you something.
Earlier, I missed the first 30 seconds of the setting up with messages and about WhatsApp. So could you, if nobody else is asking a question, can you go over that again?
Yeah, so Zoho basically created a new section, and that will be messages. I don't have it here. None of my systems has it, but you will be able going to the messages, and it's also, of course, going to be related to contacts and leads. You will have your messages, and if you will click on it, you can see SMS, WhatsApp, emails, cases, and there is one more that I keep forgetting, but there are 5 different communication types that you will have as part of the messages plugin. Direct integration with Twilio, and basically it's bypassing most of the SMS plugins out there and WhatsApp plugins out there. So it's saving a bunch of money, and it's also integrated natively into your system, which is awesome.
But that's still coming. It's not something they have released yet.
So they did release it. I didn't get it yet. Usually there are systems that are labeled early access, and this system is an early access, but I didn't get this release yet. They're saying that they already released it to some customers, and they will keep on releasing it slowly as they're doing bug fixes. So I'm waiting for it. I really want to have a nice video about it. Just waiting. I think it will be the biggest update for 21 if it's going to be released this year. Everybody are waiting for SMS and WhatsApp. Everyone.
Okay.
It's across the board.
All right. So I just thought, because when I saw you showed something earlier, I thought to myself, okay, maybe I'd missed some part because I was looking at my system and it was not on there. So thank you.
Yeah, it will be here. And also under channels, you will have one more, and that will be I think the WhatsApp. I'm still waiting for the details, but that's what I know that's supposed to be something like that.
Okay, my good friend.
Exciting.
I know, that's very exciting.
Thank you.
It's very exciting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, so I guess there are no more questions. So guys, thank you very much for joining me today. We'll see you next week.